All right, Rangers, welcome back to the Command Center. This is your White Ranger Clayton. How is everyone doing today? We are back with the Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Continuing the epic tale of the infamous bounty hunter Silas Greaves.
So, did you finally go after that pop feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself. Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
I love the title of this mission, Be Quick or Be Dead. Very close to one of my favorite westerns.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different. I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
Oh, all kinds of guys shooting. Ooh, I can level up. Let's go with Ranger. Deep pockets. Definitely want that.
I thought the Texas Rangers got Hardin.
Yeah, that's what
quick
they
reload,
want
that was
you to
awesome.
believe. It was cold and a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres.
New type of gun, the quick shooter. I have no idea what the difference is, but I am not giving up my rifle for a shotgun. Let's climb to the roof. Oh, god damn it. I gotta be way more careful. You'll also notice that the towns that they use they cut and print, copy and paste a lot of the same places to in this game to make it look like you're in more places than you actually have been, which I don't mind because a lot of the towns in the Old West all kind of look the same, so it kind of works. Ooh, the nugget of truth is about Wild Bill Hickok. James Butler Hickok, also known as Wild Bill, is considered by some to be the most famous Western gunslinger of all time. He is remembered as a tall, slender man with long flowing hair and an omnipresent pair of holstered Colt 1851 Navy cap and ball revolvers. Ooh, beg your pardon, everyone. I'm a little irpy, and I'm all out of Tums. Born in Troy Grove, Illinois, in 1837, he worked as a stagecoach driver, fought for the Union Army during the war, and later became a scout, a lawman, and an unlucky professional gambler, and a not very good actor who trod the boards with Buffalo Bill until he realized that the theater wasn't his true calling. What he did best was put outlaws, killers, ornery assholes, and drunk cowboys in their graves by filling them with full of lead. The high noon showdown in the middle of the street, a staple of the Hollywood Westerns, was not a very common occurrence. As a matter of fact, they hardly ever happened, unless Wild Bill happened to be in town. If anyone was willing to stand in the street at high noon and face someone down, that would be William Butler Hickok. In 1876, Hickok was diagnosed by a doctor in Kansas City with trachoma and inflammation of the eye. He was losing his ability to see, and so his marksmanship and health were on the wane. As his finances were in trouble, he set out for Deadwood, South Dakota, where a recent gold strike had created a boomtown full of drunken miners, a perfect place for a professional gambler to ply his trade. On August 2nd of that year, while playing poker at the Nut and All and Man's No. 10 saloon, Bill broke a rule he had been following for years. Perhaps for the first time ever, he sat with his back to the door. A former buffalo hunter named Jack McCall entered the saloon at that very moment and drew his revolver, shouting, "Damn you, take that!" and shot Bill on the spot. The bullet went right through the gunslinger's head and hit another player at the table in the wrist. Legend has it that at that moment of his death, Wild Bill was holding a pair of aces and a pair of eights, all of them black. Since then, that hand is commonly referred to as the dead man's hand. Which is a very grim nickname for any card thing at all. It's I can't even think of anything in a game that compares to that. And since they reuse a lot of the same things from for each of these levels and stuff, once you've you memorize that map from the beginning of the game when you escape jail, you essentially have the towns pretty much set, because they use the same set pretty much all the time. No good truth in there. And there's something up there. We're gonna go check out that thing on the roof. Because I like exploring so much more than actually doing what I'm supposed to do. I got a secret. Let's see. Ooh, about cattle rustling. Let's see. Before barbed wire was used to divide the free rangers of the Wild West, cattle rustling had thrived. Many famous outlaws of the time, like Billy the Kid, the Clantons, Curly Bill, and Johnny Ringo, all tried their hand at stealing cattle. It was obviously considered a serious offense and punished accordingly. More often than not, a cattle thief never had a chance to appear in a court because a vigilante group would usually lynch the criminal on the spot. Those unlucky desperados hung as grim decorations dangling solemnly from the branches of a roadside tree. It's not surprising, considering the fact that the cattle were the primary commodity of the West, and it was often easier to get away with murder than stealing a cow, which, in all honesty, when you think about it, for the time, or actually in any time, it's like when the main trade of the area is blank, and pretty much everyone relies on that commodity to make a living or eat. If somebody steals that said thing, yeah, I'm pretty sure you could murder somebody and get away with it before you would get away with stealing whatever it is. I'm gonna explore some more. Yeah, I'm not going in that main door. I'm not a moron. Right now, I'm looking for some secrets and bullets. The Pacific Southwest Railway Bank Incorporated. Well, I like also you have this right here, which was the clock tower in the first layout of this town, and this one, it looks like just a bell tower that is for some reason tied to a building. God, I love how epic this music is. Aha, here we go. knew I'd find something. Let's see. Rifle. Quick shooter. Okay, what am I holding? Is this the quick shooter or the revolt or the 6-shooter? I got, let's see, shotgun. Okay, I'm holding the quick shooter. Okay, I just had to double check, make sure I was looking at how the swap out worked. You go up that road. Okay. It says here I'm getting strength from the store. That means I can't. If I go any further, it'll reset me to the last checkpoint, which is essentially in front of the bar I need to go into. So means I have to. Nice. Shot a lamp. Got XP for it. Good to know. And they put the clock tower in the middle of the town on this layout instead of the bell being where this is. According to this, it is 3 in the morning when we're taking care of business here. Alright. And this is the jail that in the other town we broke out of. And we hopped these building layouts. Huh, nice. On the edge of town. Hotel. Just right there. Hotel. And we can be all the way over here, still not affecting the story. Good to know. I wonder if that means Silas actually did this. Just dick around in the town before he did what he came to do. But I can get pretty far out before it tells me I'm straying from the story. On this end, holy crap. This is quite a ways out. The thing's way over there now. Let's see. Over here. Well, at least, I mean, the game is sarcastically telling me that, you know, you can turn on navigation and stuff if you do blankety blanks. Let's see. Okay, now I'm straying from the story. Okay. This far out of town. So that won't let me just enter any building. But then again, this was a download title, so I can't expect the moon. Because what we do get is still pretty spectacular. Ooh. That's ammo. I could go in that door, but I'm not gonna. Going this way. Oh, there's some dead guys in there. Proof enough that I'm not going in that way. Ooh, sawed-off shotgun or the quick shooter. I forgot that replaces your pistol. The Bullhead Saloon. When Phil Coe opened the Bullhead in Abilene, Kansas, he he enraged the local townsfolk by painting a picture of a bull on the side of his saloon. This particular bull had a large erect penis. The law in Abilene at the time was none other than Wild Bill Hickok. He threatened to torch the building if the obscene painting was not removed promptly. Before Coe could make up his mind, Hickok paid a few men to paint over the bull and its offending private part. This infuriated Coe, and he confronted Wild Bill. Coe clearly disliked Hickok, and this animosity grew until one day Coe fired 2 shots at the marshal and missed. Hickok returned fire, cutting Coe down. He also accidentally killed his own deputy, Mike Williams, who was coming to his aid. Williams' death haunted Hickok until the very end of his life. I would imagine so. It's because you're not paying attention to what you're shooting, and friendly fire ensues. Ooh, hello. That's pretty decently textured for an OG download title. Let's see. I always like looking at maps like these because I try to pinpoint where my state. When you just see the kind of a mashup of all the stuff, I always try to figure out where my state is and where exactly my town is. Let's see. Ooh. I don't know. You know what? I never really used this. Alright.
To the very same saloon we're sitting in today.
Must be a open closet. Oops.
Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was
Really? Because it
waiting
looks
for
like
me.
no one was there. Except all the dead people.
Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this son of a bitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. Fathers and husbands, brothers and sons, men with families who cared about them. Families who put up money in hopes of finding justice. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Well, that woken somebody up, so. Oh, God damn it. I don't know how. Who saw me and how.
They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. Most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hands. And that was easier said than done, as most of them were as foolish and full of bravado as I was.
Okay, you're really pissing me off.
I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp.
Oh, apparently I walked through the fire.
He was
Didn't know I
carousing
could do
in
that.
town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcome
secret.
presence.
Old West revolvers. We actually, not too long ago, at the museum near me, well, one of the museums near me, they did an exhibit. I shouldn't say recently, it was a couple years ago, but it was an entire thing about Samuel Colt. And this entire area was just full of old-time Samuel Colt revolvers, and like a replica of it, the very first one he had ever made, and then actual guns from the time period, not replicas, and had all these cool facts, and it was super bitchin' to see all these. And it had all this stuff, and if I remember right, there were a couple of tiny sections about rifles that he did do some rifles, but they showed mostly Winchesters, which was and they did it as a counter that this was kind of his rival when it came to gun manufacturing. Next to the cowboy hat, the object most often associated with the Wild West is the percussion cap revolver, invented by Samuel Colt in 1836. This revolver, along with the Winchester repeating rifle, was the preferred method for dealing death in the latter part of the 19th century. The first revolvers were front-loading models. Black powder was inserted into the chambers of the cylinder and then covered with a lead bullet. Rammers were used to keep everything in place. All that was left was to place percussion caps on the opposite end of the cylinder. Because of that, the early revolvers were known as cap locks, and with the cap and ball inserted separately. The Colt Patterson and its later incarnations were examples of that design philosophy. This includes the Walker, the Dragoon, the 1851 Navy Wild Bill Hickok used this pair, the model 1860 Army, and others. The Remington model in 1858 was a unique design because it allowed for replacement of empty cylinders for loaded ones in the midst of a fight. Later models used integrated cartridges as ammunition, eliminating the need to load each component separately. The Smith & Wesson Model 3 was such a design. One of its variants is known as the Schofield revolver. And so were Colt's more advanced products. Revolvers also evolved from single action, where the cylinder had to be rotated manually, cocking the gun, into so-called double action, where the trigger mechanism would also cock the gun and turn the cylinder with a single motion. One thing remained unchanged throughout the history of the Wild West. In the hands of a skilled gunman, revolvers were deadly weapons. That's true now. That's not a fact that disappeared into the ether. That is a true fact that still remains. Okay. Did it again. I really wasn't paying attention. I really shot the shit out of that dude with this thing. But it does not look like I have a lot of ammo for it. So we're going to switch to the quick shooter. Back to the quick shooter, because it is so much easier. Oh wait, no, there's could have been ammo right. That's great. I think it got range.
Middle ain't that sucker.
Oh shit. Oh.
You better hide.
Whew.
That asshole just killed Red. I can kill you.
So you can do what now?
Tell Hardin someone's coming for
Ooh,
him.
sweet. The one I really like.
Stop that son bitch! Let the boys know we got another law dog.
Oh, ammo for the sawed off. Okay.
I wondered if Bob was among them.
Probably not. Or why would you start the story dealing with the other guy? I'm betting it's up here. Yep, there it is. Take secret. Ooh, John Wesley Hardin. Hardin, born on May 26, 1853, was one of the West's most notorious killers. Next to Wild Bill Hickok, many considered him to be the fastest and most accurate gunslinger who ever lived, or at least the deadliest, as he is believed to have killed 41 men in various duels, shootouts, and other sundry incidents. One story has him shooting a man for snoring too loudly, but many believe that is simply a fanciful legend. Some consider him a cold-blooded killer, while others thought him as a folk hero. He had a price on his head from the age of 15, but Hardin allegedly only killed in self-defense or to defend his freedom. Finally arrested by the Texas Rangers, Hardin spent many years in prison, where he frequented the prison library and taught himself law. He was sentenced to 25 years, but released only after 17, and promptly passed the bar exam. He tried to make a living as a lawyer, but proved to be much better gambler. Hardin could usually be found sitting in a saloon playing dice or cards. It is an irony that one of the most deadly gunfighters who ever lived met his end the same way his idol, Wild Bill Hickok, did. Both were shot in the back of the head while gambling. Hickok was murdered by Jack McCall and Hardin by John Selman on August 19th, 1895. Man, these guys go hard. They went hard. You went bigger, went home back then. Shit. Going down. Pew. Whenever I see windmills like this in games or in real life, all I am reminded of is Courage the Cowardly Dog.
For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better.
How far can I get before it tells me I can't keep going this way? When it lets me go this far, it makes me wonder if there are secrets down here. blocked my path. Oh well. That was weird. Had me locked on that rock for some reason. Ooh, a sign. What was it? Oh, they could have at least put something to make it look like there's writing on it. Again, when it lets me get this far away from the objective, it really makes me wonder. And this looks just like the barn from the very beginning of the game. Yeah, it's letting me go pretty far from where I'm supposed to go, which is kind of amazing. Again, it makes me think there's shit down here. Okay, that's pretty damn far from the objective that I can go before it tells me I can't go this way. That is nutty bananas. Let's see. Okay. Came by, saw some cows. There's the town. One of the paths I could have gone to come up this way.
Before I could test my mettle against Harden, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
Long shots. Ooh, level up. Trapper. Deeper pockets for... Ooh, for dynamite. Hell yeah. Alright, next one will be going into the Gunslinger. Which one should I do? Faster reload. On the run, reload. Probably on the run, reload. Oh, in the dick. You didn't run up on people like that, jackass. Especially when they have a gun.
You're dead.
Ooh, with the gun that isn't supposed to range.
I'm putting you down.
They're doing what now?
I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon.
You're gonna do what now? You go get those ammos that I know are around. Oh, not around the corner. There we go. Get some quick XP right there. Looks like I'm actually gonna kill somebody.
Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. I felt a certain hostility.
Ooh, baby.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Who has the balls?
Time to die.
Oh, this guy wants some. We're gonna take it right to him. Ooh.
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived. As a moment later, I was facing down the fastest
So apparently,
gun in the West.
in the beginning of this tale, all those dead people were dead because I shot the shit out of them. First kill at 15. Killed a man for snoring, and 40 more for breathing. John Wesley Hardin. That's a good one.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Well, maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him. was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back at a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer?
Okay.
Ben?
I don't remember if you can actually kill him.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, do you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
Dun dun dun.
A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickle the nether regions of heaven.
A long time ago in a mountain far, far away.
Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's secret sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death.
Very well done environments still. Very nice. Magnificent waterfall. That's one of those things that's on the bucket list to see in real life. Something that extraordinary.
Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him.
So you're saying be careful. Yeah, that isn't ominous. I know they're in there. Sucks as it won't let me just shoot at them from here.
They saw me before I saw them.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that. Oh, BS. All right. Vultures. Yeah, is there? Yeah, I think there's a little bridge over there, but I can't remember if you can actually use it.
They saw me before I saw them.
Bam! Get wrecked.
And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down.
Headshot. Woo! I'm taking your shit. Yeah. Okay, so I could have come across that little thing. Probably would not have snuck up on him though, because this guy was standing right there. Okay. Now I gotta figure out who was shooting at me. That guy. And that guy. Oh, right there. Take secret. Native Americans. The best streamer 223, what is up? Welcome to the command center. How are you doing today? We are in the midst of hunting the outlaw Grey Wolf as Silas Greaves in Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Pretty fantastic game. What have you been up to today? Very good memory. I'll be honest. I do remember the name, but it's been a while since since we have talked. So I'm trying to remember one of our last conversations. So I'm trying to think of it in my head. It'll come to me, but but I do recognize your name, and I do remember you have been in our stream before. Welcome, welcome. I don't know how Oh, that guy was bulletproof. Holy shit.
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there.
Man, this is gonna be a hell of. Remember, I was like, how I look up. Yeah, okay. Now I remember that. I do remember that conversation. We were playing. I was playing Arkham Knight during that stream, if I'm remembering correctly.
I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
Oh, there. I was like, who was shooting me? I finally got that guy. Ooh, headshot. Oh, yes. See, I knew I'd recognize the name, but I knew the information was in there. I just had to jar it a bit. So what you been up to? Oh. Oh, it won't let me go up there. Damn. Wanted their ammo.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
Ooh, headshot. Yes, I found the secret.
A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you're in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
All right, we'll be here. I knew you'd be there.
Back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
Torches on the walls. Well, of course, if this is gonna be if you're gonna have a cave hideout, you have to have light. So of course they're gonna light it. Why wouldn't you? You'd be an insane person not to. Oh shit. All right. Ooh. Oop, secret. Take secret. Grey Wolf. Oh, and the best streamer 223 got to level up. Hype, hype. As it happens, history does not know any great Indian leaders bearing the name Grey Wolf. There was one chief with that name, but he was also an officer in the United States Army, which is kind of badass. A-holes I just shot down. Don't need that because I took all I took that cache of ammo.
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars.
Gotcha.
They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead
Well, at least
Indian
that's what they
ghosts?
thought.
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the
Think
dead
they can sneak up on Silas Greaves? They got another thing coming. And that thing is a bullet to the face. Jesus. Let's see. Gunslinger. Oh. Actually, I want the faster reload. I'll get. Let's see. Making time, improved agility and concentration. Be quick and grease. It's grease lightning. That'll be something. Let's see. Ranger, I will have the option for additional zoom or guns blazing, faster reload for rifle. We'll probably do a steady aim for the next one for level ups. Boom. think they're fooling. They really shouldn't run up on a guy who has a pistol to their face. I really don't know if that guy thought he was being stealthy.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the cave.
The Cave of Death. That does not sound fun. That's what I'm guessing that is. But there's this alcove right over here. That I'm going to go down first. Because why do the objective? The 6-shooter? Hell no. Why would I need to take out the 6-shooter? Took the hat off of this dead guy. Let's see. Nugget of truth. What was that nugget of? Ray McCall. Okay, the guy I just took that hat off of. Ray McCall. That is the main character for the Call of Juarez games proper. So that's a fun little Easter egg that one of the nuggets of truth is about the main character of the actual main series. I had forgotten that you've which secret this was. I knew there was like an Easter egg or something that featured him, but I couldn't remember what it was. The oldest of the McCall brothers. He and his brothers were sons of a Georgia landowner who fought for the Confederacy in the Civil War. His father died at Antietam, and he and his brothers continued the fight. During the battle for Atlanta, he was demoted for insubordination. After the war, he made himself a name as a gunfighter. Famous for his ferocity and the antique conquistador's cuirass he wore as a breastplate, which you can kind of see in the picture here. He killed many men to make that reputation, and is most well known for his feud with the infamous Juarez Mendoza. Mendoza had an Alcazar. I just botched how to pronounce that word. I already know that for a fact. Outside of Juarez, Mexico, and ran an army of bandits that terrorized the border for years. After years of working as a hired gun, drifting from town to town, Ray McCall found his calling and became a pastor, leaving his violent life behind. However, his destiny was not to be one of peace, as he picked up his pistols again late in his life to hunt down his nephew, suspected of killing his brother and wife. He died in 1884, killed by the same Juarez Mendoza with whom he had crossed paths with years before. His only consolation was the knowledge Mendoza would surely follow him to the gates of hell. Surprisingly, the history books are silent on the subject of this extraordinary man, the gunslinging preacher Ray McCall, which is funny that he's the gunslinging preacher. That's another call to the movie The Quick and the Dead, where Russell Crowe played an ex-gunslinger, bounty hunter, renegade, because he became a preacher and wanted to put that life behind him. And the only reason he picked up the guns in the movie is because he was forced to. He had no choice in the matter. It was either pick up the gun and defend himself or get shot in the face. Again, if none of you have seen The Quick and the Dead, I highly recommend you go watch The Quick and the Dead, because that is a fantastic movie. Alrighty. Alright, got that secret. Off to the Cave of Death.
I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me.
Hello.
As his story unfolded in my mind.
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rain. I have no tears.
He said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and it echoes the song of the dead, summons the spirits deep within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying.
But there was definitely snakes.
Snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
Damn it. Let's try that again. Oh, snap.
I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle.
Oh, shit, son. All right. Man, I love how epic this music is.
I felt like I would be
One
lost
second,
in
I
that
gotta-
damn cave forever.
Okay, I got skills. Don't need that. I need help and options. Let's see. Got sense of death. Nope. Combos, dueling, experience. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. Trying to remember how to auto mark my bad guys using concentration mode.
Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo's right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details
Damn
may
it.
be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me.
Can't run across that tree branch.
There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens.
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady.
Alrighty. I know you're up here. Oh shit. Okay, how am I missing? That guy is shooting through the same crap I am, and somehow he's able to shoot me, but I can't get him. Getting the long shot.
I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches around.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly.
Oh, in the
but there were a
dick.
lot of them.
In the dick. In the dick. Ooh, times 12 multiplier.
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before. I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me.
No, I didn't shoot that guy. Native American heroes. Spotted elk, also known as Bigfoot, Sithanka, was a... Oh, he's a Sioux. The Sioux, not too... Actually, we're located not too far from where I am. He was a Sioux chief who bravely fought the white aggressors. He died, like many of his brothers, on December 29th, 1890, in the so-called battle known today as the Wounded Knee Massacre. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. That looks like it says would be pronounced Cochise, but I know that's not it. That can't be right. I'm probably butchering the crap out of it. Scratch that. Not probably. I am butchering it. I know I am because you know. But known among his people as Ada Tilchi. Tilchi was a war chief who led a long campaign against the United States Army. He evaded capture many times and continued raids against the white settlements until 1872. A treaty was negotiated by General Oliver O. Howard and Cochise. Seriously, that's all I can think of how to pronounce it. Somebody's going to have to correct me on how to actually pronounce that. Ended up on a reservation run by his only white friend, Tom Jeffers. He died in 1874 of natural causes, and his descendants are said to currently reside in Mescalero and at the Mescalero Apache Reservation in New Mexico. That's kind of... Goyathle, that sounds more correct, was his successor in a way. Known better as Geronimo, he won numerous victories over long years of fighting. Mexican soldiers killed his mother, wife, and 3 children in 1858. He vowed revenge, and as a war chief, he constantly raided Mexican provinces and their towns, and later American settlements across Arizona, New Mexico, and West Texas. He surrendered to the U.S. authorities in 1886 and became somewhat of a celebrity, even appearing in Wild West shows. But he was never able to return to the land of his birth. He died of pneumonia in 1909 and confessed to his nephew that he regretted his decision to surrender, saying, "I should have fought until I was the last man alive." Sitting Bull and Tatanka Laok... crap. I should know how to say that word. The victor of Little Bighorn, and later a performer in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, was a Hunkpapa Lakota Sioux holy man who led his people against the encroachment of the white man. He was killed by 2 Indian policemen in the service of the United States government during an attempt to arrest him and prevent him from supporting the ghost dance movement. These and many other Native Americans were forced to live in an impossible world. Their lands and way of life were stolen and replaced with a world they didn't understand or want any part of. They were murdered both by bullets and blankets infected with smallpox. They died from disease and starvation and exposure as they were shunted onto reservations. Today we recognize the destruction of the Native Americans and their culture as the genocide that it was. Fortunately, history has not forgotten them, and now we can celebrate them as perhaps the only authentic heroes of the American West. Which is so extremely true. Heck, the museum I mentioned earlier that I can go to, it has a regular exhibit where it has I don't know how they got them, but they got copies of the actual voice recordings of court appearances by famous Native American leaders. And you can sit there and you can go through the exhibits, and it talks about the Native Americans and how the Wild West, and you can listen to those recordings. It's actually very fascinating. They last pretty long, and you can just sit there and listen and hear the actual voices of these people, and talking about what's going on, talking about what, trying to convince whoever will listen to that what's going on is wrong. Ooh, level up. Let's see, what do I want for Trapper? Fast shotgun reload. More shot and shotgun rounds. Do some more damage with your shotguns, and all shotgun weapons will do 20% more buck. Ooh. Okay. Counterattack after sense of death. Ooh, that is something I want. Definitely something I want to get. Get your last breath of revenge. After you manage to avoid a lethal bullet, its shooter will be marked for execution by a headshot, and you will receive a small amount of free concentration unless you're fighting a legendary boss, though these guys have a few tricks up their sleeve. Alrighty. Improved agility and concentration. I can get that. Which would be cool, which means I would get the upgraded pistol. What's this? Quick fingers. Reload rate increased by smashing the handle of your... The handle... By smashing... handle bullets will carry smash square like a loco during the reload sequence. Insert bullets faster. The top break reload mechanisms do not use this. Okay.
But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air.
Werewolf? This game came out during the time of Twilight, so they might have done that on purpose. I hope not.
Never did collect my goddamn bounty.
Ooh, and I got all the nuggets of truth in this level. Sweet.
Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand.
Oh, where you been?
Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of right?
I did my best, sir. We all did.
Loading. They call me Bounty Hunter. Great names. Oh, snap. You can dual wield sawed-offs. I didn't even realize I could do that. what? I might have to do that. That is nuts.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn
Dime
street.
novels. The term originated with the first book in the Beadle and Adams dime novel series, Maleska, the Indian Wife of the White Hunter, by Anne S. Stevens, dated June 9th, 1860. The series ran for 321 issues and established all the conventions of the genre. From the lurid woodblock print covers to the melodramatic and sensational stories, they were popular among young working-class audiences, mostly owing to the increased literacy rate of the society in general at the time. They told all sorts of outlandish tales, usually in a Western setting. Their style was simple and accessible. The characters were one-dimensional, but they were page-turners and a forerunner of modern-day mass-printed paperbacks and comic books. They turned many real characters of the day, outlaws and lawmen alike, into celebrities of sorts. They helped create the modern romanticized mythology of the Wild West that continues on in Hollywood westerns and TV shows to this very day, which I've actually, in, museums, of course, I've actually seen some of these, and they're actually kind of cool.
Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always writing him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say.
Whoa.
Finally, the bastard
Who
took
the
his
hell
mother's
shot me right there?
automobile just to shut her up.
That was instant death. There was... Do I not have my rifle?
Kill that cocksucker!
Well, the locals recognized the
You
Daltons
gotta...
right off.
Oh, ammo.
Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
Hey, we got us a hero. Put some holes in him! You'll die for this, you hear me?
Okay. Okay. I mean, it's up there somewhere. 1 second. Climb up building. Free XP. There we go. So XP, never hurt no one. All right.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows They had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently.
Okay, Dwight,
First
you're
of
an
all,
idiot.
It was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. They met an adversary that day who had no fear and offered them no quarter. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait to suck the bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. He went in there alone to confront those criminals.
So,
One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank.
alright, I'll follow your stupid-ass story, Dwight. Even though you're telling the people who were there that they don't know what they're talking about.
Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did.
I want to know who he thinks.
It's brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Breaking the door.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
It says I can dual wield these sons of bitches. They lied to me. Screw it. Just breach the door.
Is that Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch!
Is that Silas Greaves? Instead of saying, "Oh shit, we better get out of here."
You can't hide from me.
Who do you think you are, punk? I will,
Rule the
huh?
day. Hide, you lily-livered son of a bitch.
Okay, I'm in the building. I know. There. That's what I'm sensing. Nugget of truth is somewhere. Alright.
Yeah, you know you can't beat me. That's right. Run!
Okay, I gotta look for it. God damn it. It's somewhere around here. I'm gonna find that son of a bitch.
You bet.
Haha! Coffeeville. On October 5th, 1892, the Dalton gang appeared in their hometown of Coffeeville, Kansas. Their plan was to rob two banks on the same at the same time. That's the dumbest plan. The targets were the CM Corden and Company's Bank and the First National Bank, located across the street from one another. Brothers Bob, Grant, and Emmett and their compadres Dick Broadwell and Bill Power split into two groups wearing false beards. They showed up at both banks when they opened, planning to pull off a quick double heist. One of the groups robbed their bank without incident, but the other was outfoxed by a brave bank employee who convinced the bandits that the safe was protected by a time lock, which wouldn't open for another 10 minutes. They waited for it to open, and in that time, the entire town rallied against them. The citizens of Coffeeville recognized the brothers, in spite of their less than clever disguises, and had no intention of letting them escape with the money. The bloody gunfight broke into the streets of Coffeeville, and the entire gang was killed except for the youngest Dalton, Emmett, who was shot 23 times. Okay, this is the Old West. He survived getting shot 23 times. That is impressive. He served a life sentence in prison and was released after 14 years, which I guess is kind of life back then, at least. He would often say it was a U.S. Marshal, Heck Thomas, who pushed the Daltons into attempting that crazy plan by tracking them so relentlessly. The Coffeeville robbery was supposed to be the gang's ticket out of the life of crime. Instead, it was a ticket into the cemetery for most of them. That is a fact. Alright, I'm going to take a cheeky break. Let this epic music play. I gotta use the restroom real quick. Be right back. And I have returned. Ooh.
Over there! That's not a breeze. What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons.
Ooh.
His name? Silas Greaves. And when the dust finally settled,
It's because he's
he was the
badass.
last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened. It was early evening, not high noon. I was late to the party and Coffeyville was already up in arms. The Daltons blew up a safe and were all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
Son of a bitch. Federal Bank. The leader, the lover, and the loser. The Dalton brothers. Bob, Emmett, and Grant.
I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. Finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeyville.
This is too good for 'em. Oh, now what?
Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout at a time.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life
Shit
is
happens.
sometimes.
Oh, I love his philosophy. Ooh, last breath. I love last breath. Gotcha. Take secret. The Daltons. Related to the famous Youngers, the Dalton brothers, Grattan, there's no N, Bob and Emmett, gave up their jobs as lawmen in the 1890s to form the so-called Dalton Gang. The sole purpose of their enterprise was to rob trains and banks and make a hell of a lot of money than they ever did as peace officers. About more money, I gotta read. They also coveted a bit of the notoriety their more famous cousins enjoyed as members of the James Gang. One such robbery ended with the arrest of Grat, who then managed to astonish the marshals, who had him in custody by escaping from a moving train. Grat stole a key to his chains from a napping guard, then jumped through the window right into a river while the train was passing over a bridge. The Daltons weren't always so lucky. One of them, Bob, desperate to make a reputation as an outlaw that would surpass that of Jesse James, suggested an incredible and daring plan. He wanted to rob 2 banks at the same time in broad daylight. On October 5th, 1892, the brothers rode into Coffeyville, their hometown. They hid behind fake beards and attempted to do what no outlaw had done before. Their bold plan ended in a complete disaster for the brothers and their comrades in arms. Bob died that day, and his brother Emmett, shot 23 times, miraculously lived, went to prison, and was later pardoned. He died in Hollywood in 1937 after trying his hand at being an actor, an author, and a real estate agent. That I didn't know. But that means their younger brother, he lived a pretty decent amount of time. He also lived through World War II. Or at least into World War II, 1937, yeah. That's middle or end, if I'm thinking of my history correctly. There's the guy I killed from the window.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The 3rd brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. No, you're behind that rock, son.
It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
I'm gonna cut you in half. You ain't getting by me, Greaves. It's hog killing time. I'll
Sure you will.
You are dead, law dog.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23
Put all
times.
those damn holes in.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
That's a great way to put it. He had grit. I got skill points. Let's see. More damage. Well, you already do a hell of a lot of damage with the shotgun, so I'll put that in the reload. Making time will be my next one.
Will you get those suckers?
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell.
Love how the environment just changes as you tell the story. It's damp and now foggy as hell.
It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Going this way. Marker over there. Oh shit, I only got 16 bullets. I'm gonna have to find some ammo quick. Ooh. Black Bart. Charles Earl Bowles, better known as Black Bart, was undoubtedly words today, Clayton. Christ. Was undoubtedly among the Wild West's most unusual stagecoach robbers. British by birth, Black Bart was a polite man known for his manners and refined taste. It is difficult to believe that such a gentleman bandit really operated in California and Oregon in the 1870s through 80s. Legend has it that on at least 2 occasions he left handwritten poems at the scene of the crime. This one from 1877. I labored long and hard for bread, for honor, for riches, but on my corns too long you've tread, you fine-haired sons of bitches. Black Bart never lacked personal charm. After getting out of jail, he was asked by journalists about returning to his criminal ways. He answered with a smile, "No, gentlemen, I'm through with crime." Then another reporter wanted to know if he would write any more poems. Black Bart laughed and replied, "Now, didn't you hear me say I'm through with crime?" He never fired a gun during any of his robberies, and all of them were done with him getting to the crime scene on foot due to his deeply held fear of horses. That's commitment.
Bury 'em in the swamp. Let 'em where they stand.
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm. So I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
You or me?
Headshot. Anything here? Nope.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
And Jim missed. Jeez. Make me waste my bullets. Oh, damn it, there's some explodey barrels. I completely missed them.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Death is
Damn it. Wasn't quick enough. Should have pulled my rifle out. Okay, I killed that guy. How did he just come back to life? Ooh, and that bullet went right through his ass. Headshot. Whew.
Kill that cocksucker!
Ooh.
Let's see what you got.
Ooh. Damn, son.
And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen. Point being, I was under serious attack. Kill Greaves!
Bury him in the swamp! You're a dead man!
Headshot. Hell yes. Ooh, a sawed-off rifle. Doesn't look like it's gonna have the range I want. You know, for criminals, they really shouldn't, pretty stupid if they're just leaving barrels of explodey juice all over the damn place.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view.
A sawed-off shotgun.
but just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running through the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon...
Wow, Steve, you're a dick.
Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Indians? There were Indians?
No.
Paying attention.
I just
Where
wanted
was
to make
I?
sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was
See,
just,
jackass?
resting
Someone else is
my
listening.
eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Ah, son of a bitch. I think I'm trapped. Come on. Jump, damn it. Ah, damn it. Oh, I was gonna say. Okay, reload checkpoint.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
All right. That's a keep it going.
Bounty hunter! Stop that, son of a bitch!
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. Or Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I'll bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
You want to bet?
Somebody kill that sumbitch!
Stand up.
Kill that goddamn bounty hunter! Guess we had enough!
Headshot.
You can run, but you can't hide! You're dead! You found and I will. Waste your bullets. Go ahead. You gonna need it. Ah! That asshole get away with this. What are you gonna do?
Shoot your ass. That's all I do. I gotta make sure I don't miss nothing.
Some bitches pissing me off! I'm ending you!
Okay. I'm going nutty blind. I can't see this guy. Dead man, huh? Yeah, I know you are.
Can't believe you keep missing.
What the hell?
I'm done with you. Show 'em how to die.
Okay. In the dick. Ooh, long shot. you fucking serious?
Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would
Alrighty. No, I ain't taking a shotgun. I ain't nuts.
That's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make
Pride
it?
of St. Louis.
It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was in that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high, and those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Ooh, gotcha. Damn it. Woo! Reload. Is it now? Secret. Old West steamboats. A couple of different places you can find the remains of steamboats here in my state. While the founding fathers of the United States were writing the Declaration of Independence in 1776, over in France, the first successful steamboat was completed. In the United States, the first steam-powered boat was built by John Fitch in 1787. By the first half of the 19th century, American rivers were teeming with steamships. It was a blessing for the economy. River transport was much faster and cheaper than any kind of land transportation. Numerous ports and shipyards appeared. The ships themselves needed maintenance and dock workers, and all that meant new jobs. Of course, early steamboats were far from perfect. Many sunk for any number of reasons. Boiler explosions and fires were common causes of accidents. Between 1811 and 1899, 567 steamboats were lost in the United States. Despite that, people were eager to use this new means of transportation. There were even the enormous palace steamers built to ferry passengers and cargo across the North American Great Lakes in the mid-19th century. And if you've never seen any of the Great Lakes, I recommend sometime in your life you should check them out. They're actually amazing. I'm originally, my family, we're originally from Michigan, and I love that state. It's fantastic. The Titanic was the largest steamship in the world when it sank and remains history's most famous and decidedly unlucky steam-powered ship. In the second half of the 20th century, steamers were almost completely replaced by diesel-powered ships. So we're gonna find some ammos. Tread this water. Nope. That's where I came in.
Somewhere up there, the dog.
What was your first guess? That being the possibility. Oh, the nuggets nearby. Piercing shot. Must be above. Must be above me. It's sure as shit ain't below me, because there's nothing below me. I know! It's somewhere up on the second level.
Yeah, you know you can't beat me.
Sounds like you don't give up
Ooh,
too easy.
with a headshot.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Ah, there it is. Take secret. The Gatling gun. Built by Richard Gatlin in 1861 and first developed in combat during the Civil War, the multi-barreled Gatling gun was one of the precursors of the modern machine gun. Built unlike modern machine guns, it was not fired automatically, but rather operated by a gunner who had to crank it. During each turn of a hand crank, each barrel fired a single shot, after which it ejected the spent cartridge, loaded a new round, and in the process cooled down. This allowed for a higher rate of fire without the barrel overheating. The Gatling gun offered an unheard of high rate of fire and was relentlessly easy to reload. Relatively easy. In the right hands, they were a devastating weapon. Gatling guns were finally replaced by the self-powered Maxim machine guns that used recoil energy to eject spent cartridges and insert fresh ones. In its prime, however, the Gatling gun was a fearsome weapon. Hell, it's a fearsome weapon now. We still use it. It is still... Look on any gunner ship that any military has that's in the air. It's a multi-barrel Gatling gun. I can tell you that for shit sure. Because we know how effective those damn things are.
kill Red?
I killed you too. Click, click. Big ass engine. Ammo. Reload. No secrets down that way. Shit.
Right about then, much to my relief,
Oh, so that's what that is.
vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. Turned out that they had me.
I'm sending you to hell.
Should have seen it coming.
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed to. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Oh, god damn it. Oh, that's right, I said you can't do the bullet dodge if you're using a friggin' Gatling gun. Damn.
Bob and Grat weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together.
Kicking ass and taking names.
Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Oh, god damn it. The hell? Oh, this one's gonna be the pain in the ass. I completely forgot about this one. Okay, the last 4 duels, you had to hold R1 to draw the gun. Now, it's saying if you hold it, you don't do shit. What the hell? Okay, what the hell?
Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident
Because
that
it's
this
2
time
against
the odds
1.
were on
Yes,
their
it
side.
is. What the hell? I got my gun out, but magically I can't do shit like I'm out of bullets. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Part of the things, you can dodge bullets if you weave left and right. I weaved right when the bullet was going left past my face, but for some reason, it curved, and like it was, that weird Angelina Jolie movie where she could curve bullets and shit. You've gotta be fucking with me right now. Not only was I the faster draw, but magically, their bullets are, you know, tracers. What the shit? Jesus, that took
They got it wrong.
way too long.
A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later. He moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two.
Holy shit. Ooh, and I got all the nuggets of truth out of that level. Sweet. 60% accuracy. Not bad. Not bad. Could be better. Alrighty, we're going to cut a couple minutes early. Because we just ended this legendarily hard duel. I will be back tomorrow. Same time. We'll be back with more of the adventures of Silas Greaves. Alright, my Rangers. I hope you had fun. I know I did. Always fun having you guys here. Alright. I will see you tomorrow. Let the power protect you, and I will